Very good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing good. Can anyone please let me know about the audio and video? Is all good? All right. So let's begin with the news analysis of 13th and 14th September. We have completed till 12th of September. Very good morning. Very good morning. So first news in the series in ESI Finance and Business section is very, very important. All good? That's very good. So let's begin with the news. This is important, try to understand the news and the terminologies which are mentioned here as well. So as you can see, Ministry of Finance has notified certain new rules for compounding under FEMA. FEMA, as you all know, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, right? So FEMA basically governs your foreign exchange business. Now, what is the change is regarding compounding under FEMA. New rules in regard with the threshold limits have been increased, right? So these changes have been done. Now, first you need to understand what is this compounding under FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act. Compounding basically means, because FEMA is a set of rules, right? It is a law which sets out certain regulations and rules. Any contravention which are there, which you have indulged into, if you have contravened any of the provisions of FEMA and then you want to accept it voluntarily and to settle it outside the courts, not to go into the legal matters and not to go into the legal processes. You want to settle it voluntarily by admitting it voluntarily, disclosing it, and then you have just to have the to pay the penalty as may be decided by the compounding authority, which is set according to different threshold limits as to how much amount of the compounding has been involved. So this is what compounding is. I hope you have been able to understand this concept, everyone. This is what we mean by compounding. So voluntarily accepting any contraventions you have been indulged into regarding FEMA rules and regulations. Is this clear, all of you? Now you will be able to understand the news. Yes, everyone? Yes or no? All right. So why is this in news? As you can see, the finance minister has released new set of rules for processing the compounding applications. So such applications which are regarding compounding, for them the new rules have been there. Okay. What is the aim? The aim is basically to simplify the process. You all know that regarding litigation, India has been facing pendency for a long period of time. Now, be it in any field, be it regarding FEMA, foreign exchange, be it regarding any domestic law, law governing any domestic activity, right? All kind of laws, you see litigations are there piling up. So, to ease the process, you see GST, regarding GST compensation cases and all, they have also been trying continuously to ease all the processes. In this regard, this is to ease the process and then further the process of investment into India. This is the aim. Then if you see, they are going to supersede nearly 24-year-old foreign exchange compounding rules. So these are going to change the existing 24 years such rules. So this change has been after a long period of time, quite long period of time. That's why this is important for every upcoming examination. Okay. Now, what are the changes? You should remember, under the new rules, the threshold for compounding authorities of RBI has been raised. Now, these authorities, they belong to RBI. Now, these are compounding authorities. That means they will be dealing with any such kind of compounding application. Okay. So, these thresholds, they have been raised from their previous limits. You don't have to remember the previous limits. You just have to remember the new thresholds. What amount of compounding application will go to which RBI authority? This is the case, right? So remember, first case you see, sum involved in contravention does not exceed 60 lakh. If such case does not exceed 60 lakh, goes to, who is the compounding authority? Goes to Assistant General Manager of the RBI. Goes to Assistant General Manager of RBI. Then cases up to 2.5 crores, cases up to 2.5 crores, they go to Deputy General Manager RBI. They go to Deputy General Manager RBI. Then cases up to 5 crores, they will go to General Manager RBI. And more than 5 crores, any case or contravention application involving more than 5 crores goes to Chief General Manager RBI. So just remember this table. This is important. Also remember the threshold limits. I hope this is clear, right? Also, one more important thing here which I want to highlight is there is no change in the timeline. Timeline of what? Timeline of passing order after receiving the complete application. Are you getting my point? So after these authorities, they have received the complete application in its complete manner, right? After that, in how many days you are required, these competent authorities, they are required to pass any order. It is 180 days. It is 180 days. This has remained same. It has not been changed. Earlier as well, it was 180 days. Earlier as well, it was 180 days. And once, if for example, they impose any penalty on the person involved or the entity involved, any entity involved, that entity has to pay that penalty amount within 15 days of passing of such order, right? So remember, 180 days from receipt of such application, you have to pass that order. I hope this news is clear now to all of you, right? So remember 180 days and remember these compounding authorities and the cases and their sum involved. So these are the new thresholds. Regarding Foreign Exchange Management Act, you must be knowing that it is an act of the Parliament of India and came into effect from 2000, June 1st, and it replaced the erstwhile FERA, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, right? Consolidates and amends the law relating to foreign exchanges. This is just a static portion. The news was important. You can go through the static portion. The next news which we have after this important one is IKRA Financial Services receiving first ESG rating from IKRA's arm. IKRA, you know, IKRA. What is IKRA? Anyone? A very famous credit rating agency regulated by SEBI, right? IKRA, you all must have heard about IKRA. So from IKRA, the IKRA Financial Services have received first ESG rating. ESG rating. Now, what is the implication of this? ESG rating here means environmental, social and governance rating. This is an NBFC, IKRA Financial Services Limited, a very important NBFC. Now, this IKRA Financial Services Limited receiving ESG rating has certain implications. So, first, this news is important, right? This NBFC has been assigned a rating of Impact 57 Moderate. Remember this. Impact 57 Moderate. Just remember this thing. The rating which has been given to IKRA Financial Services is Impact 57 Moderate. Also, this NBFC focuses on personal loans, student loans, business loans, etc. So, it is primarily involved in retail kind of loans, right? Now, what is the implication of having such ratings, ESG ratings? As you can see, environmental, social and governance rating, having such kind of ratings can attract more sustainable projects to your entity or company, right? You can have more green financing kind of projects. So, because you have received such kind of rating, investors might gain confidence. Those investors who want to invest in sustainable projects might be investing through you. You might get those funds. IKRA is a credit rating agency, okay? A very famous credit rating agency regulated under the aegis of SEBI. All right. Results will be out very shortly. It's time, you can expect the result anytime, right? But don't worry about that. It is going to be there. We cannot do anything regarding this, isn't it? Now clear, IKRA? Any doubts, further doubts, or shall I move ahead? All right. So moving ahead, this is the another news. Now next which you have is again very important, very important. So center has notified NABFID as a public financial institution. NABFID as a public financial institution. Now first you have to tell me what exactly NABFID presently is. Or you say, if I ask you, in the All India Financial Institutions category, is NABFID there? Yes or no? All India Financial Institutions you have, right? Like Exim, NHB, NABARD. Is NABFID there? Anyone? Infrastructure financing, that's okay. But is it there in the AIFI list? Yes, it is the recent addition. So remember this fact as well. NABFID is also in the AIFI's list, and it is the recent AIFI which has been added by RBI into the list. Now, NABFID, you see, National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. So this basically invests into bigger infrastructure kind of and development projects. Now, if center has notified NABFID as public financial institution, what is the implication it has? You need to understand this is very, very important news, okay? So just try to understand the news as well. The implication is now it will be strictly regulated, but it can get more funding from the government as well. It will be now investing in more long-term kind of projects. So these kind of things, they are going to be there, okay? It is now becoming more important because it is now a public financial institutions. More government related projects it will be investing into. Several other implications might be there. Just few of them I have highlighted. So remember, and the ministry associated with this news is Corporate Affairs Ministry. It has notified the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development as public financial institution under the company law. Now, what is the aim? To bring several benefits to NABFID under the company law, income tax law, SARFAESI law, etc. As I told you, now it will get a lot of benefits which are there. Like it might get more funding from the government, right? It might get more opportunity to invest into government projects or infrastructure and development projects. Now, if you discuss about NABFID, NABFID was set up as a development financing institutions under the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development Act 2023. So, the primary aim of NABFID is to finance development and infrastructure related projects. This is a very important institution, financial institution. You should remember this, and that's why this news becomes important, okay? Then next news which you have in the regulatory bodies news. I hope so far the ESI business category, all news are clear to everyone. Any doubts, anyone? These are really very important, whichever we have discussed so far. Try to remember all these facts, okay? I hope there is no doubt. So let's move ahead now with next news. Here, RBI, it is regarding cancellation of registration. So RBI cancels registration of 4 NBFCs here. RBI has cancelled registration. Yes, I will be covering almost all the news, not almost, because now we are taking only 2 days current affairs, right? So earlier we wanted to complete those things. That's why I still tried to cover all the important news, but then those which are factual exports and one, that's I left upon you. But now I will be discussing all the news with you. So here, RBI cancels registration of 4 NBFCs and accepts surrender of registration from 13 others, right? So just remember this news. It is not so important, but still RBI has taken significant action against certain non-banking financial companies by cancelling the certificate of registration for 4 such firms and accepting registration from 13 of them. Why? To make them comply with the financial sector. You know, NBFCs, they have been on a radar of RBI for a quite long period of time. I hope you understand the background of this news. You see, NBFCs have been there in retail lending, particularly their NPA or delinquency levels, not to call NPA, but the chances of default and the cases of defaults not even translating into NPA have been higher. We have discussed these things in the FSR report, if you remember, right? So to align their practices with the financial system and to avoid any kind of systemic risk, because NBFCs are also the borrowers from the banks. They also borrow from the bank. If something happens which leads to corruption of their balance sheets, it also gets translated into the corruption of balance sheet of the corresponding bank, isn't it? So it translates into a systemic risk affecting the entire financial system. That's why these kind of actions RBI keeps on taking. So you can relate all these news in your answers. That's why in between, while explaining all these things, I try to give you hint how to connect all these dots, because many of you are going to write in phase 2, right? So that's why I try to give you just hints in between. Then you have SEBI approving 10 times hike in NSE's share capital. So the Securities and Exchange Board of India has approved amendments to the Memorandum of Association of National Stock Exchange, now which allows 10-fold increase, 10 times increase, 10-fold increase in authorized share capital to 500 crore. Now this move is actually going to pave the way for, proposed bonus issue for them, and the increase will also provide flexibility to them if the NSE decides to issue fresh shares during its public offering. So this is to provide more flexibility to NSE if they want to issue fresh shares, and also the bonus shares. So more flexibility to NSE now. Just remember this thing, and 500 crores authorized share capital is there. Okay. I hope you all know what are bonus shares. Yes or no? Anyone would want to tell me what are bonus shares? Yes. What are bonus shares? Anyone? So these are, to incentivize the investors, bonus shares, dividend on long-term equity. Okay. Also sometimes you get an additional share. Yes, very good. You get an additional share on the existing shares in your demat account. Are you getting my point? So now NSE has been provided. Yeah, these are what bonus shares mean, as I told you. And yes, you are also correct. Additional shares. Very good. Yes, they have to meet certain criteria. Now, this is going to provide so much of flexibility for fresh issues to the if the NSE wants to do that. So this was the news. Okay, what was the initial, before this hike, what was the earlier share capital? Tell me, anyone? Okay, I want you to tell me, I'll be waiting for your answers. What was the earlier amount? Okay, I will be waiting for the answers. What was the earlier amount? Let's move ahead with the news. Again, next news is RBI imposing penalty on BNP Paribas and 3 others. Now, BNP is a French universal bank, right? This BNP is a French multinational universal bank, and 3 others are there. So, RBI has imposed penalty. So, you should remember these entities are in news. This penalty on BNP Paribas, then what other entities are there? So, you see HP, Hewlett Packard, HP Financial Services India is there, HP Financial Services India, and then your SMFG India Credit Company and Muthoot Vehicle and Asset Finance. Muthoot Vehicle and Asset Finance, these are the other entities. Now, what is the reason for BNP Paribas, which is a French bank, as I told you? What is the reason for this penalty on BNP? For non-compliance with certain directions issued on interest rates on advances. So it has been found in indulging in activities which are not in consonance with the rules set out or guidelines set out, directions set out regarding interest rates on the advances it has provided by RBI, right? Then others, if you see HP, SMFG, and then your Muthoot Finance, what are the reasons? So here reasons are deficiencies in statutory and regulatory compliance. Again, so there have been deficiencies in complying with the regulatory guidelines as well as the statutory guidelines here. Okay, that's why these penalties have been imposed. You need not remember the amount of the penalties, that is not important. Just remember the entities and the reason for that. Next news which we have is SBI Foundation launching 3rd edition of Asha Scholarship Program. So you should first remember that Asha Scholarship Program is what and it belongs to which organization. So your SBI Foundation, it has launched 3rd edition of Asha Scholarship Program. 3rd edition of Asha Scholarship Program. Now it aims to support 10,000 meritorious students from underprivileged backgrounds. So what does this scholarship aims to provide? It aims to support meritorious students coming from underprivileged backgrounds. Okay, so here in this 3rd edition, they are aiming to support 10,000 such meritorious students from underprivileged backgrounds. Also, scholarships provided to them will range from 15,000 to 2 lakh rupees for students from class 6 to postgraduate level. That would depend on the level of their education. Okay, so remember the range of the amount of scholarship which is there ranges from 15,000 to 2 lakh. 15,000 to 2 lakh, and the eligible students will be starting from class 6 up to postgraduate level. So this is indeed a good initiative to help the underprivileged students complete their or pursue their higher education as well, isn't it? So remember the 3rd edition of Asha Scholarship launched by SBI Foundation. Okay. Also, the program includes categories for those in IITs, IIMs, and a special study abroad category for SC and ST students. So it also includes a category for students who want to pursue their higher education from these premier institutes like IITs and IIMs, and also anyone wants to go to abroad is a special category under this for scholarship for SC and ST students, scheduled caste and scheduled tribe students. Okay, and these applications are open until 1st October 2024. So this is important. Now moving ahead, I hope this is clear. So next news is regarding UPI transactions limit. This news, as you can see, the NPCI has increased the transaction limit for certain payments using UPI to rupees 5 lakh. Okay, rupees 5 lakh. Now this has been increased to 5 lakh by NPCI. certain kind of payments. You see, there was this news in the, I think, economic survey or budget as well, for health related transactions, health medical expenses related transactions, this limit is there or it has been increased. Tell me, what is the limit of UPI for medical related transactions? It is also 5 lakh, isn't it? Right? Yes, very good. Satyen, very good. 5 lakh, right? So it was, I hope we have done these questions. If you remember, in the economic survey budget, it was there, right? So in medical transactions also, it was earlier increased up to 5 lakh. And if you see these limits per transactions before the increase by NPCI up to 5 lakh, what was the amount before the increase? So before the increase, it was 1 lakh, okay, per transaction. Before the increase, it was 1 lakh per transaction. Now it has been increased to 5 lakhs. So just remember this. Yes, yes, very good. Why all these things they have been doing? You see, UPI related transactions are gaining a huge momentum nowadays. There have been reports and data we have discussed in the economic survey and the budget, also in the FSR as well. UPI related transactions are the volume and the value. In terms of volume and value, you see, they have been expanding manifold. So then to further gain this momentum and to integrate more people with the UPI based transactions, these actions are being taken, right? So remember, earlier 1 lakh, now 5 lakhs. It will be effective from September 16. So it is now effective from September 16, 2024. Okay. Now these are the categories which are there for 5 lakh. One, tax payments, hospital and educational institutions, IPOs and RBI retail direct scheme. These are the categories where you have been provided with this increased limit of 5 lakh per transaction. Tax payments ke liye you can do that. You can do that in hospitals and educational institutions. You can do it for transactions related to IPO and also retail direct scheme. I hope you know the RBI's retail direct scheme, one of the most important schemes, right? So retail direct scheme basically allows the retail investors as well to invest in government securities and all without requirement of any institution, right? So you can directly invest in these. This was important. So remember, next we have the national and state news category. The first news you have is inauguration of Center for Rural Enterprise Acceleration through Technology at Leh. So your Union Minister for MSME, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Union Minister for MSME, Jitan Ram Manjhi, has inaugurated the Center for Rural Enterprise Acceleration through Technology at Leh. Now, as the name suggests, it aims to provide a Pashmina wool roving facility, training for development of production facility of essential oil extraction from roses, other flowers, and training for development of production facility for bioprocessing of available fruits and other raw materials which are there. So basically, to develop the rural enterprise through technology. This is the aim of establishing this center. Remember the location, it has been established at Leh. It has been established at Leh, right? So remember the location and the importance of this Pashmina wool, you know, the best quality wool which you have. Pashmina shawls you must have heard about. So basically they want to develop their rural economy and expand the scope of rural enterprise by providing them training facilities of these kind of activities which are possible with the available raw materials in the region. Okay, this is the thing. I hope this is clear. Moving ahead with the next set of news. Next news which we have is Prime Minister names newborn calf in his residence. Yes, so this was in news, Narendra Modi, Honorable Prime Minister, has adopted a newborn calf in his residence. So the name is Deep Jyoti, right? I hope you must have heard about this news. He has adopted the calf and the name is Deep Jyoti, right? Deep Jyoti. So next news which we have is Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia launching the Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav. This is an important website. You see, there's this website being launched by the minister, Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav, that is www.ashtalakshmimahotsav.com. So this is a website. This is a website. Why this has been launched? So this is regarding the festival which is inspired from 8 northeastern states encompassing Arunachal, Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura. So they collectively, are known as Ashtalakshmi. Ashtalakshmi. So there is this festival going to be there, event going to be there. It is something which holds significance when we talk about the integration, the mainstreaming of northeastern states with the mainland India, right? They are very much integral to India. They are that much equal part of India as the other states are. But in the process of history and development, there have been incidents which show that special efforts need to be there in order to make their life better, right? So collectively these states, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura, they are known as Ashtalakshmi, and there is this event going to be there from 6 to 8 December 2024. In this event, there is which is going to be celebrated. They will celebrate Muga and Eri silk. There will be live demonstrations of artisanal crafts from these states. Also, there will be a special focus on the region's geographical indication products, GI products. So this is going to be a bigger event. Hence, this is important. They will be celebrating their famous varieties of silk. They will have live demonstrations of artisanal crafts. Also, they will be focusing on their GI products. I hope you know what are geographical indication products, GI products. Anyone? Anyone? What are GI products? Yes, tell me. What is GI? 10 years validity. See, the concept of GI, geographical indication, it is a kind of intellectual property right? It is a kind of IPR, you can say. So GI gives you what? GI gives recognition to a particular product belonging to a particular region, having been developed with peculiar artisanal skills, right? They for example can be important to the economy of those artisans. So it provides them legal security. It provides them the security that no one is going to copy that technology with them. It provides them with economic benefits. Yes. So you have a lot of GI products. For example, can you please name a few of them? of whichever state you belong to. I don't know which all these states are you belong to, but at least try to give 1 or 2 examples of GI tags. So like from Jaipur you have the blue pottery, okay. Then what about the other GI tags? You have certain mango variety as well in the GI tag list. Alright, so you might be knowing all these names. Alright, so this is the thing. That's why remember Ashtalakshmi Mahotsav, this bigger event is going to be there, like a festival only. That's why we have discussed this is kind of a festival going to be there, but not particularly associated with religious activities. It is going to demonstrate certain artisanal skills, right? So then we have next news, which is Union Minister Piyush Goel unveils Jan Sunai portal in Mumbai. So Jan Sunai portal is in news. Why this portal is in news? It basically wants to facilitate direct and transparent interactions between the traders and helps exporters resolve their issue online. So Jan Sunai portal launched by Ministry of Commerce and Industry wants to ease the process of any grievance redressal which is there, any issue which is there with the exporters. So it wants to promote exports and ease the process for them, make the process easier for them. So here you can see via this portal, there will be a direct and transparent interaction between the traders, and this way the exporters can resolve their issue online only. It includes several departments which are there indulged in the export related activities like tea board, coffee board, spices board, rubber board, APEDA, and the Directorate General of Foreign Trade, all functioning under this ministry. Okay, then he also inaugurated the revamped Smile ERP facility of the Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. So first, I hope you understand Jan Sunai portal. This is to help the exporters resolve any of the issues with the traders online only and to ease the process of exports. Okay. I hope this is clear. Any doubts so far? Anyone? What is Smile ERP facility? Tell me, what is the Smile ERP facility? Smile ERP facility of the Export Guarantee Corporation. Smile ERP facility, tell me. So this also has been launched, revamped version of Smile ERP. Yes. Anyone? Enterprise Resource Portal. Yeah, so basically you see the Smile ERP facility is in-house facility, is an in-house facility. In-house facility for what? In-house facility for enterprise planning, resource planning. Okay. So revamped version of Smile ERP has been also launched. This is the news, so remember this. And next news which we have is Adani launching AVO app. So Adani Airports Authority, Adani Airports Holding has launched AVO digital platform to provide passengers with real-time data about airport access. AVO. So remember this digital platform AVO. AVO. Who launched this? Adani. Adani Airports Holdings. Adani Airports Holdings. AVO. It is a digital platform. It will provide passengers with real-time data about airport access. Now, through this, passengers can expect easy access by getting real-time data such as security checks, waiting time, how much will be there, if there is any gate change, and bags on the belts, other information, etc. So it is going to ease their travel and also going to reduce the hustle. Sometimes not having real-time information regarding the wait time and the gate change leads to a lot of flight misses, right? And then you have to board the next flight. These kind of problems are faced by the passengers. So this is going to ease this problem. Okay. Next news which we have, India to set up 2 mega shipbuilding parks by 2030. So this is important. India will be setting up 2 operational mega shipbuilding parks by 2030, eyeing a share of $100 billion global shipbuilding market, and the parks will be located on both the east and the west coasts. Now, so we will be developing 2 mega shipbuilding parks. One will be there on the east coast and one will be there on the west coast, right? This is important. Not the exact location we have right now, but you just remember it will be there by 2030, and we want to be an integral part of $100 billion global shipbuilding market. This is a market which is also expanding manifold, so we want to be an integral part of this global supply chain in shipbuilding as well. Also remember the shipbuilding infrastructure, the supply related problems in the shipbuilding infrastructure was something which was highlighted after the corona pandemic. Okay, after the corona pandemic, one of the biggest contributors to the bottleneck inflation which was there, bottleneck inflation means what? Inflation coming from supply side constraints. If supply of something is less, say supply of raw material is deficient in comparison to the demand for it. So ship containers were one of the reasons, if you go and search and read about it. So shipbuilding infrastructure needs to be there if you want to be very active in the global supply chain. That's the importance. You can link such news examples with these kind of things in your answers, right? What is in-house? In-house is basically any activity or facility, or you see in-house auditing and all, which includes your resources, your own members. You do not hire someone from the outside. Okay, Shreya. Okay, not Shreya, sorry, Satyen. This is what we mean by in-house. Clear? So this was again the next important news. Next which we have is regarding Spices Board launching a mobile app to boost cardamum production. So your Spice Board of India has introduced a mobile application called Cards app. cards app to encourage cardamum production. Cardamum production. This will provide vital soil test results, including soil fertility map. Okay. Samples will be collected across 19 villages in these regions known for their cardamom cultivation primarily. So you have two regions mentioned here, Idukki region and then your Udumbanchola region, right? These are known for cardamom production. So what is this going to help? Cards app. Cards app is going to provide you, assist you regarding soil fertility information and all, so that you can enhance your cardamom production. Soil samples of 19 villages from these cardamom prominent areas will be taken up. So this is again an important news. Remember, Spice Board of India, cards app, cardamom production, and two regions are there. I hope this is clear. Moving ahead with the next news we have in the series. So Indian Immunologicals Limited partners with ICMR for clinical development of Zika vaccine. So this is again important. Your IIL, Indian Immunologicals Limited, it has signed an MOA with Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, for clinical development of India's first codon de-optimized live attenuated Zika vaccine. Zika vaccine के development के लिए this has been there. So just remember the entities. You need not go into the detailed scientific technicalities of it. Indian Immunologicals Limited and the Indian Council of Medical Research. Now Zika disease, you all know, has been in news for quite long period of time. It is a viral infection and mostly it is mosquito borne. It is a mosquito borne disease and it is transmitted by the mosquito named Aedes mosquitoes, right? So Aedes mosquitoes are responsible for the transmission of these mosquito borne diseases. So we want to develop a proper Zika vaccine for that, and that's why this collaboration is there. So just remember the entities and the vaccine. Next news which you have is Piyush Goel launching Trade Connect e-platform in New Delhi. Now, Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goel has launched a Trade Connect e-platform in New Delhi. What is the aim of launching such kind of platforms? So, it is going to be an initiative for fast, accessible and transformational processes related to exports, okay? Exporters which are added to your new markets. It will be via this platform, it will be able to increase its market share in the world, adding to the international opportunities which will be showcased on the platform. So it is a digital initiative, as you can see, aimed at transforming the landscape of international trade for Indian exporters, especially MSMEs. This platform wants to make or enable the MSMEs and other exporters from India have fast and transformational access to exporters or to export related services. All those exporters which are newly added to the market as well. So this is basically to ease the process of export and all. Any export related support resource you require, this is the digital platform via which you can access it. Okay. Any doubt so far? Any doubt? So remember, this is also going to be important. Launched by Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goel. Now it aims to provide better access to export related services and resources to all the newly added exporters, particularly the focus is on the MSMEs. Just try to remember that. Next news which you have is regarding state news. So in the state category, Port Blair is to be renamed as Shri Vijayapuram. This is important. Port Blair is capital of. Okay, what is difference between MOU and MOA? See, MOU is both kind of agreements are there where they agree to collab for a particular reason. MOU is memorandum of understanding, and MOA is memorandum of agreement. Yes, anyone? Port Blair. So you all know what is Port Blair, right? Capital of Andamans and Nicobars, right? So yes, this question, difference between MOU and MOA, as I told you, MOU is memorandum of understanding and MOA is memorandum of agreement. You can understand it like this. MOU is a more broader terminology. It can encompass more than one agreed criteria or work or deal, right? While MOA is kind of a action which only includes the agreed set of work. Are you getting my point? So this is the news. Next we have is Port Blair to be renamed as Shri Vijayapuram. Now this is important. The government has decided to rename Port Blair in Andaman and Nicobar Islands as Shri Vijayapuram. Why? Because Shri Vijayapuram symbolizes the victory achieved in the country's freedom struggle. Also, there are different islands which have been rechristened or renamed. You should remember their names as well. So you have Ross Island. It was renamed as Subhash Chandra Bose Dweep, right? So remember these names as well. And then you have Neil Island over there, which was renamed as Shahid Dweep. And then you have Havelock Island, renamed as Swaraj Deep. So remember other names as well, which have been already renamed. So Ross Island as Subhash Chandra Bose Dweep, then you have Neil Island as Shahid Dweep, and then you have Havelock Island as Swaraj Deep. Now the proposed one is Port Blair to be renamed as Shri Vijayapuram. All these names, if you see, they have been somewhat related to India's freedom struggle. Right? So it is easier to remember. Now in the international news category, the first news which you have is regarding Typhoon Babika. So just remember that Babika, which is 13th typhoon of 2024. Also remember this, in the series 2024 May, it was the 13th typhoon which made its landfall in Shanghai, okay, China, which with the maximum wind force near its center reaching 42 meters per second. Not at all important. Just remember where did it strike, in Shanghai, and it is the 13th typhoon in the series of 2024. And it was one of the strongest typhoon which hit Shanghai in past 7 decades or more. Okay. Then you have another news from China. China is ready to raise retirement age for first time since 1950s. So China's top legislative body has approved a proposal to increase the statutory retirement age for women in blue collar jobs from 50 to 55 and for women in white collar jobs from 55 to 58. For men, the retirement age they want to raise is from 60 to 63. Now this is going to come into effect with the new year. Okay. Now I want you to tell me, everyone, what is the difference between blue collar jobs and white collar jobs? You will tell me, and these are the sectors. Now we don't have the conventional classification of the economy only, which is primary, secondary and tertiary. We have something known as quaternary, quinary, right? So these terminologies are associated with them. I want you to tell me what are blue collar jobs and white collar jobs. Anyone? What is the difference? Now they have their own set of rules for this difference between the retirement age for women and men. We need not discuss that much, you know, for China, because it is not something belonging to India. Blue informal, white formal. No, you should be very clear on these basics. You see, blue collar jobs are often those jobs which are not desk jobs or kind of not administration related jobs, right? They are generally off-site type of categories. Off-site, for example, off-site means outside the office, not off-site in terms that they don't have any site to work upon, like construction sites. So your laborers and workers working at construction activities, they will be in the blue collar jobs. So they are not involved in professional kind of services or administration kind of services or desk kind of jobs. Okay, and then in the white collar jobs, you see, white collar jobs may, these are the jobs like consultancy services and desk jobs, which are their managerial services. These are the examples of white collar jobs. I hope this is clear. So this is the difference. Blue collar jobs के लिए it is 50 to 55 for females, and white collar jobs के लिए it is 55 to 58, and for the men the age is 60 to 63, the proposed age in China. So this is the difference between blue collar and white collar jobs. Next, MOUs and mergers and acquisitions which we have in the series. Let's discuss them. So MasterCard, first news is saying that MasterCard is planning to acquire global threat intelligence company, which is Recorded Future from Inside Partners for $2.65 billion. Why does MasterCard planning to acquire this global threat intelligence company? Because to enhance its cyber security capabilities. So remember, MasterCard plans to acquire threat intelligence firm Recorded Future for this much US billion dollars. Now you can see the importance of having cyber security. With this much of amount, MasterCard is ready to pay for this, right? It wants to enhance its cyber security capabilities given the increased frequency of cyber threats nowadays and coming into different forms, right? That's why this is important. So remember this news, MasterCard and the Recorded Future. The next news which you have is IIT Madras and Center for Road Safety. They have teamed up with Ford to address the growing issue of road accidents involving young drivers. Ford, as you know, Ford is one of the oldest. You would agree with me, right? Ford has been the oldest automobile company, yes or no? Since when we discuss about the assembly line which gave rise to the industrial revolution, the production of Ford was there. So why they have teamed up with Ford to address the issue of road accidents involving young drivers. Okay, now they want to, with this collaboration between IIT Madras, IIT Madras' Center of Excellence for Road Safety, the center wants to team up with the Ford automobiles to equip thousands of students from almost 240 schools in Tamil Nadu with road safety knowledge and skills. So they want to enhance road safety skills and road safety knowledge as well. So this is kind of good initiative that gives you an example. You can integrate such examples in your answers which requires these kind of reforms, right? So you can say that everything is not to be left on the shoulders of the government. We have private entities and the institutions performing their part very well like this. Next news which we have is again an MOU with APEDA. So your Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority, APEDA, under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, has signed an MOU. MOU with whom? MOU with Lulu Group International, which is a retail chain. Okay, and this MOU basically aims to showcase a wide range of certified Indian organic products in stores of UAE. So we want to have Indian organic products in UAE stores, expanding India's organic product markets to the Middle East. This is the catch from this news. Just remember the MOU, the APEDA and the Lulu group, and the aim is expanding India's organic market to Middle East. The next news which you have is IBM. IBM and L&T Semiconductor Technologies have signed an agreement to co-develop advanced processors for edge devices, hyper cloud systems and all. Now you see, semiconductor technology is something I have been discussing with you every time, right? So your IBM if you see, L&T has been a bigger company, you all know. IBM is also an important company which is there. They have signed an MOU. For semiconductor technologies. Now the importance of this news is something which I need not repeat. They will co-develop advanced processors for several devices, hybrid cloud systems and all. So just remember the two entities. IBM is also very actively engaged in global technological solutions. Okay, IBM is there. This is not very important, but just remember the names. Then next MOU or pact which we have is NBCC India, NBCC India, which is state-owned. NBCC India Limited has signed an initial pact to develop 1,600 crore worth housing cum commercial project. So there is a commercial project on land parcel owned by MTNL on Pankha Road, New Delhi. Now you just need to remember from here, what you need to remember is this wants to transform the land into a state-of-the-art residential commercial space, leveraging the expertise and resources of both the organizations. This is not very important. Not very important. Recently only we have discussed yesterday in terms of road fatalities, there was a report in which there was a rank of India. I hope you remember. In those, it was highlighted that the states of Tamil Nadu, etc., they have such fatalities, and which state had the least road accidents. I also discussed that with you. I think it is Bihar, if I am correct, right? Yesterday only we have discussed this report. So this is not very important. You can leave this news, but still we have discussed. Now next news which you have is Helios partners with U-Boat. So Titan-owned watch company Helios has partnered with Italian watchmaker U-Boat to bring its premium watches to India. Simple, not very important. Now moving on to the science and tech and defense section. Science, tech and defense section. First news regarding defense which you have is DRDO conducts successful field trials of Indian light tank Zorawar. So remember this, Zorawar is in news. What is Zorawar? Zorawar is a tank, okay, Indian tank. It is a light tank, and DRDO has developed this. So DRDO has conducted the preliminary trials of the Indian light tank Zorawar. Okay. So remember, it belongs to DRDO and it is a lightweight tank. Then next which you have is China announces joint naval air drills with Russia. So Russian and Chinese forces are set to join the North Joint 2024. Remember the name, North Joint 2024. These kind of drills, they hold significance for your examination, because you know Russia has been facing global heat due to the ongoing war, right? That's why these kind of drills, they are important. If a country wants to collaborate with Russia, that is significant. So remember the name North Joint 2024. These are naval as well as air drills. They will be conducted around Sea of Japan and Sea of Okhotsk of Russia's coast. Okay. So remember, two locations will be there, Sea of Japan and Sea of Okhotsk. Now, aim is to, of course, deepen the strategic cooperation level between Chinese and Russian militaries. Okay. China is also going to participate in Moscow's Ocean 2024, which is again a strategic exercise. Okay. So Ocean 2024, Moscow's strategic exercise is there. China is also going to participate in that. But particularly the Chinese and Russian forces, they will be engaged in these kind of naval and air drills, North Joint 2024. Also remember the location, Sea of Japan and Sea of Okhotsk. The next which you have is rankings and reports. So India jumps to tier 1 in the Global Cyber Security Index 2024. India has jumped to tier 1 in the Global Cyber Security Index released by International Telecommunication Union, released by ITU, International Telecommunication Union. So the GCI 2024 used a new 5-tier analysis here. This report used all these 5 assessment pillars for ranking the countries this time. What all are the pillars utilized? You have to remember these. If you see the RBI phase 1 paper, they have asked what all are the criteria in Human Development Index. So these kind of assessment pillars can also be asked. First is legal measures taken to ensure cyber security. Second is technical measures taken to reduce the cyber security incidents. Then you have organizational measures taken to reduce cyber security incidents and mitigate any such case. Then you have capacity development and then cooperation. All these 5 measures are there on which the assessment has been done. Now this tier 1, if you see, into which India has jumped, is it important for India? Yes, of course, because it has almost 46 countries. Now what is the importance does this has? It has been reserved for role models, countries which have done exceptionally well, which have demonstrated their strong commitment towards ensuring cyber security among all these pillars. So that's why tier 1 achievement, it is an achievement for India, right, in terms of cyber security. And if you see about this organization, ITU, it is an organization actively involved in these kind of activities, headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. Need not remember the founding year of ITU. Need not remember that. Okay. Right. Now, next news we have is in the awards, books and festivals categories. Let's see what all are there. So you have Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited, RINL, the corporate entity of Visakhapatnam Steel Plant. It has bagged the prestigious National Energy Leader Award. So this is important. RINL, Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited, has bagged a prestigious award, which is National Energy Leader Award from the Confederation of Indian Industries. So CII say they have received this award. Okay, so CII Green Business Center say they have received. Now this is the 6th consecutive year that RINL has received this accolade. This is not first time, this is 6th consecutive award to them. It has also achieved the Excellent Energy Efficient Unit Award for an impressive 8th consecutive year. Okay, so you should remember the CMD. You should remember the Chief Managing Director of RINL, who is Shri A.K. Bakchi. Okay, because this is important, so this name is also important. Also remember 2 awards which the RINL has bagged for consecutive 6 years, National Energy Leader Award and for consecutive 8 years, Excellent Energy Efficient Unit Award. Yes, of course, it is going to be important for phase 2. You see, phase 2 you will have certain objective and descriptive as well. You can integrate such examples from news in your descriptive answers if they ask you something related to any current affair scheme or else. That's why keep on reading these things. They might help you in writing as well. Okay. These are comprehensively made to cater to all the requirements of your examinations. But phase 2 ke liye you also have to focus on the static financial concepts. So you might have attended the finance classes. Be very strong on your conceptual base and then supplement them with the current affairs. So if we talk about the festivals, first which we have is Nature Festival, which is Karam Festival. It is being celebrated across Jharkhand with religious fervor and enthusiasm. It is basically a puja related to harvest and serves the tribes, serves the tribute to the Karam tree. Karam tree is auspicious for them. The tree symbolizes fertility, prosperity, okay, which is auspicious for them. And this festival is observed not only in the tribal dominated areas of Jharkhand, but also in Nepal. So Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, MP, Odisha and Nepal. So this is not specific to India. It is also celebrated in Nepal. Remember, Karam festival. This is related to a tree which is very auspicious in their culture. So remember these states. In India, you have Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, MP, Odisha ke tribal dominated areas, but you have Nepal also celebrating this. Yes, RBI circulars are also important. They can ask you in phase 2 as well. Now, Acha, you are asking for IRDI? You can read because, not very extensively, but you see the shock they have given to you in the NABARD. So we have to create a safety net for ourselves. That's why we suggest you to go with the circulars as well. They can ask you in IRDI as well if they want to, but not necessarily. Okay. So just taking example from NABARD, to be on a safer side, I would suggest you to go with the circulars as well. Now, next news which you have is Nagaland's fifth edition of the Brillante Piano Festival is set to take place in Bengaluru, okay, from September 28 and 29. Now, for the first time since its inception 2017, the festival is relocating from Nagaland to South India. This is why that is important. You see, this festival belongs to a state of Northeast India, but the location is going to be in South India. So it is important. And the news also says that it is first time since its inception in 2017 that the festival is relocating from Nagaland to South India. There will be 18 countries plus 16 Indian states which will be participating here. This is really important. Just go through these news again. Just remember the name and the state to which it belongs. It will see, so it will be having a lot of performances where the professionals all over the world are going to participate. Okay, so this is not kind of a religious festival. Remember, here you have professionals demonstrating their skills all over the world and from India as well. That's why this is important. The location will be Bengaluru. The dates are 28 and 29 September and it belongs to Nagaland. Participant 18 countries and 16 Indian states. Okay, I hope this is clear. The next which you have is regarding BRICS Literature Forum. So BRICS Literature Forum 2024 was commenced in Kazan, Russia, and it was inaugurated by Mayor of Kazan. Now you have to remember, okay, first you tell me what is BRICS. BRICS, you know, is a very important organization and was set for multilateral, multidimensional collaboration between, originally the countries were Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Now you have many more countries being added over there. Okay, so BRICS Literature Forum has begun in Kazan, Russia. So remember the location. It started on 11 September and the theme is important. Theme for 2024 is World Literature in New Reality, Dialogue of Traditions, National Values and Cultures. So remember the theme. Theme is World Literature in the New Reality. Now moving on to the sports category. So in the sports, first you have is first Pakistani women nominated to ICC as International Cricket Umpire. So you have Salima Imtiaz. Remember this name, a very important name. Then you have Salima Imtiaz becoming the first Pakistani woman to be nominated to ICC International Panel, okay, as cricket umpire. This is the news. Next news, sports news, which is important for you, is regarding Neeraj Chopra, of course. So Indian javelin throw, you already know, javelin throw athlete Neeraj Chopra has finished second position in Brussels with a best throw of 87.86 meter at the Diamond League final. So in the Diamond League final in Brussels, he finished with a best throw of 87.86 meter. Okay. So, and back the second position, remember the first position is backed by Anderson Peters. The first position or the top position is backed by Anderson Peters and the third position is backed by Julian Weber. He belongs to, he's a Grenadian javelin thrower, always there in the names. And again, Julian Weber, again, important sports personality from Germany. Okay, so first position, Anderson Peters, second position, Neeraj Chopra, and third position, Julian Weber in Diamond League final, Brussels. Okay, just remember this. Then the appointments and conferences, if you see, appointments. So R. Ravindra appointed as India's next ambassador to Iceland. Remember the name, R. Ravindra, who is presently the Deputy Permanent Representative of India to UN in New York, is appointed as country's next envoy or ambassador to Iceland. Then the next appointment which you have is former Prime Minister of Cameroon, Philman Yang, has assumed the presidency of 79th UN General Assembly session. This is also important. So remember, former Prime Minister of Cameroon, Philman Yang is holding the new presidency of 79th United Nations General Assembly session, which is there. Okay, so 79th session of UNGA presided by Philman Yang. If you see the conferences में you have India participating in G20 Agricultural Ministerial Meeting in Brazil. Okay, so Union Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Ramnath Thakur, along with Ambassador of India to Brazil, Suresh Reddy, they participated in G20 Agricultural Ministerial Meeting held in Brazil. This location is there, Cuiabá in Brazil, on 12 to 14 September. So remember the location of the meeting. Remember the location. About this G20 Summit 2024, the 19 heads of the state and government summit, it will take place in November 2024 in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, right? And the theme would be building a just world and a sustainable planet. So remember G20 Summit 2024, these are very important facts. You must be knowing that G20 Summit for 2024 is going to be held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Okay, when in November 2024 only it is going to be there. So theme also becomes very, very important for your upcoming IRDAI exam as well. Remember the theme of 2024 G20 summit to be held in Rio de Janeiro. The theme is building a just world and a sustainable planet. Building a just world and a sustainable planet. In this summit, you or the G20 members, first you see, are 19 countries, plus you have the European Union and you have the African Union. Okay. So I hope you remember the location. You'll remember the location and the theme now. Next is third edition of Indus X Summit concluded on 10th September in United States. So basically it is IND stands for India and US stands for United States of America. So this Indus X Summit concluded in the US. Now why this summit is important? Because this was during this summit, there was an MOU signed between the IDEX and the Defense Innovation Unit under US Department of Defense to increase cooperation in defense innovation and deepen collaboration to facilitate industry, research, investment partnerships among the stakeholders. You see, this is for enhancing the defense collaboration, holds significance for defense industry of India and the US. That's why it is important. Now, this initiative is also being steered by Innovations for Defense Excellence on behalf of Ministry of Defense and Defense Innovation Unit under the US Department of Defense. So they want to have innovations and more innovative collaborations. For that, they have signed an MOU during the summit. That's why the summit is important in the defense sector. Next, if you see, is fourth edition of Global Bio India 2024 successfully concluded where? So fourth edition of Global Bio India 2024 successfully concluded on 14 September in New Delhi. It was organized by Ministry of Science and Technology. Remember what was the theme? They can ask you the themes directly. Theme was biotech innovation and biomanufacturing. So this was to promote and to collaborate and make people aware about biotech innovation and biomanufacturing, collaborate further into this field. Also, you can relate it to your answers if they require regarding Bio E3. Bio E3, you see, biotechnology for economy, environment and employment policy. We have seen in the news recently, if you remember that, right? For making global India a global biotech warehouse by promoting biomanufacturing and employment in the sector. You know, biomanufacturing is something which actually can help India reduce its unemployment levels. It can create a lot of opportunity, but for that you need to have a skilled workforce, right? You need to impart skilled training to them. So remember the theme and the location: New Delhi, date 14 September. The theme was biotech innovation and biomanufacturing. In the obituaries and the important days section, first you have is the important day. So World Ozone Day. Okay, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has organized an event to mark the 30th World Ozone Day, which is celebrated on 16th of September. So remember, World Ozone Day is celebrated on 16th September to protect the ozone layer. Then the theme of this year is Montreal Protocol, which is also associated with the ozone depletion, right? So Montreal Protocol is there, important protocol related to ozone depletion. The theme was also Montreal Protocol, Advancing Climate Actions. Montreal Protocol, Advancing Climate Actions. You must be knowing these important environmental protocols. Montreal Protocol associated with ozone, Kyoto protocols. All these protocols are there. You should read about them. Okay. Then, you know, Swachhata Hi Seva Abhiyan 2024 to begin from September 17. So Swachhata Hi Seva Abhiyan will be celebrated from 17 September to 2nd October across the country. Remember. 17th September to 2nd October. So it is going on. It is going on. Swachhata Hi Seva, to further enhance the Swachhata campaign. And the theme for this year is Swabhav Swachhata Sanskar Swachhata. Okay. So remember the theme. This is indeed a unique theme. Swabhav Swachhata Sanskar Swachhata. This theme reminds you of something? So Swabhav Swachhata Sanskar Swachhata, Parampara Pratishtha Prashasan, that movie. So I think it reminds you of that movie as well. So remember, Swabhav Swachhata Sanskar Swachhata is the theme for Swachhata Hi Seva Abhiyan, which is ongoing, started from 17th September, will be concluded on 2nd of October. Across the country, campaigns are going to be there. And if you see, this event marks a significant milestone as the Swachh Bharat mission celebrated its 10th anniversary this year. You must be knowing that, right? So these kind of events are taking place because the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan has celebrated its 10th anniversary this year. So these were the news for 13th and 14th September. We are done with the news. We have discussed each and every news in detail. I hope it was useful for all of you and you got to know all these things. You got to understand everything which is there. Certain MOUs are not very important. You can skip them. But those which are important, try to remember the entities involved and the aim of the MOU, right? So whatever I have highlighted, also please remember the themes of any event, any festival, whatever the themes are, they are important for your objective type of examinations, be it of IRDAI or any upcoming examination, right? So they are important, the themes and the festivals, their locations, the conferences. Also, if there is any ranking, apart from the rank of India, you see the tier 1 category India jumping into for cyber security, you also remember the pillars of assessment of such ranking, because you see RBI is asking, right? So other examinations, you can also expect such kind of questions. So please remember the criteria on which the countries have been judged. Okay. Yes, 10-year mark crossed. All right then, I hope you enjoyed this session. This was useful for you. Keep on reading, keep on revising. I will come up with next set of current affairs for you tomorrow, same day, same time, 10 a.m. See you in the next session. Till then, have a very great day. Thank you so much for being focused and interactive for such a long period of time. Have a good day. Thank you so much. See you in the next class.